Hey, this is Chauncey.
Hey, this is Q.
This is my real estate mistakes.
Hey, check us out. So this episode, we are talking about leverage. Leverage, it can mean a lot of things in real estate, but it mostly means about what kind of capital you access to, what kind of capital you can get your hands on, what kind of lines of credit you can get your hands on to leverage that money into more properties and more assets.
Yeah, so that's very important when it comes to buying properties and having that accessibility of cash on hand, especially when the market is changing daily. You want to make sure that you have as much leverage as possible.
Yeah, so I get a questions a lot of times like, Q, I'm going to buy a property. I'm going to put $25,000 down. Do I got to save another $25,000 to buy another property? No, you don't.
Yeah.
So this episode is going to explain the steps you need to take after you purchase your first property. How can you get that money out, or what you could do with your first initial down payment? So the first step is, okay, we own an Airbnb. Usually you can't refinance your property until after 6 months. The banks are hard money lenders or private lending want to see 6 months of rental deposits into your account before you can refinance it.
Yeah, so what we kind of want you guys to exercise is an acronym called the BRRRR method, which is refinancing your property. So it's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Mm-hmm. So that is what we are currently in the process of doing with all our properties, is that you want to go ahead and buy them. You already rehab them. Now they're rented. Now you want to go ahead and refinance.
Yeah, so basically, you're buying this property probably with a fix and flip loan, or you're buying it with an interest only loan. So first of all, your interest rate is higher. It's short term, maybe a 13-month kind of loan. So you have to refinance the beginning. So just say that you buy a property for $100,000, you put $20,000 in it, now it's worth $160,000, $170,000. You can get up to 80% of that $170,000, and that money can pay off your initial down payment and the loan you took out, the fix and flips. So that's how you kind of get your money back. Now you have a steady, maybe 5, 7, 20, 30-year loan on it. You got a lower interest rate because it's not a risk property to the bank or to the lender. It's a producing asset. So they're going to give you up to 80% of your loan to values. And that's how you get your initial down payment back.
Yeah, so you taking that money that's the repeat part. So you taking that money, don't go out and take that money somewhere else. You actually find another investment to invest in with that money. So let's go ahead and put everything in perspective. You have about, under Quincy's scenario, you're probably about $40,000 to play with after you refinance. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you have a lower interest rate. When we say low interest rate, we're talking about you going from like an 8 to 9% interest rate down to like a 3 and
4%.
Yeah, 3-4%. So that's cut in half, as well as with the long term, you have your estros of your taxes and insurance.
Yes.
So all that stuff is estroed and taxes in your one payment, and now that is a stable number versus before with the hard money lender, that money is not escrow inside of it, that you have to pay that separately. So that gives you some of the stability, as well as a 20, 30 year loan, which, I mean, my thing is that you're kind of adjusting your profit margins in between that in order to make that work.
Yeah, so the day you close starts the clock to the 6 months. So if you close on January 1, then you can start with June 1, you can close December 1. You need 6 months from the day you acquire the property. Now, this 6 months until you get rent is 6 months until you acquire the property. So in those 6 months, you want to rehab as quickly as possible. You want to get on the rental market. You want to show rental history as quickly as possible. So you can go inside that property and get the money back. And then, like Chauncey said, just to repeat the process. So that's the advantage of sweat equity. That's your money back out of it. It was a shaky deal in the beginning. It was $100,000, but in this neighborhood, the house was going for $170,000 when they fixed up. You decided to buy $100,000, take all the risk, put the money into it. Now you got it up to that par of the neighborhood. Now it's time to reap your rewards. Go get a lower interest rate, like Chauncey said, because usually your 89% is just interest only. You're not paying any of the principal. You're not paying any of the property taxes. Only thing you're paying insurance a year and a half. Now when you refinance, all those payments into one payment now. So you're not worrying about a big tax bill at the end. You're not worrying about a big old insurance payment at the end. All that mortgage is paying all those things, and you are really cash flowing. Now you can really see, okay, I should be collecting this a month, and I have my initial investment back into the bank. So I turn my $25,000 into a $700, $800, maybe $1,000 positive cash flow into my bank. So you can take your money back out, add that cash flow you made, and get a bigger property. You can you had 25,000, you made a couple of thousand, now you're up to 30,000. You can buy a bigger property, or you can take your profits, use your profits how you want to use it, and then go back with the $25,000 initial investment.
So the biggest thing about leveraging is that you want to scale this business. Yes, buying one Airbnb is very important, or buying any type of short-term investment. Real estate investment is good, but what if you can multiply it by 20? What if you can multiply it by 40, 100? Why limit yourself? Our biggest thing is figuring out how can we scale this? How can we make this stuff systematic that we can actually multiply it? Yeah, initially everyone started off with one property. But once you start actually multiplying it, then when one property goes down and you have multiple properties, then that's when you're leveraging yourself, because you have the 6 other properties that take on that one property that's going down. So the 6 other properties can sustain you while that one property down. Why would you let just have one property when that property, let's say, God forbid, is a fire, that's cutting your cash flow for the next 3 to 4 months? You leveraging and actually making sure that you actually scaling this business, taking it to a business, then you have those other properties to take on that loss of income in between that time. Another thing that you want to make sure also when it comes to leveraging is that make sure you have proper insurance when you actually, depending on what you're using on your short-term rentals, long-term rentals, you want to make sure that you actually have that proper insurance as well.
Yeah, and like Chauncey was saying about scaling, like Walmart started in Bennett, Arkansas. He just ain't started with one Walmart. He built multiple Walmarts, and now they're all across the nation. You got to look at this as a monopoly board. You just can't buy one piece of property in Monopoly and just hope everybody hit that piece of property to win the game. You have to have properties all over and doing that situation. Your first property should be your scariest property. It should be you're scared, you think it's not going to work. But after that, you should be like, I can do this. This is not that hard. We are not these rocket science geniuses you think we are. We just know about scaling. Nah, you're not. No. Went to Orangeburg Wilson. No. From Orangeburg, nah. We just believe in ourselves to take
risks. Yeah, I definitely believe in myself.
So, but yeah, you just want to make sure you scale, and that's the goal. That's the name of the goal. Because you got to realize when your property's cash flowing, you're getting paid twice. You're getting paid monthly and you're getting paid yearly. What I mean by that is, yes, you're making a couple $100 a month cash flow, but that property is going to go up in value. Like, you got to realize that, like, South Carolina average about 9 to 10% on residential appreciation every year. So if you bought a property for $100,000, next year should be around $110,000. But your property, your balance is going down and that's going up. So I call appreciation my savings account. When I want to dip into my savings account, I go back to the bank. Hey, I'm going to leverage this property to get this property out of here. And I'm not going to use any more of my capital. I'm going to use most of your capital to do that.
Agree. And so that's what you actually do, is the name of the game is actually put that initial investment in it. And instead of continuously actually putting more capital into it, you're taking the capital that you actually appreciate from the rehab and taking that capital and taking that money out, not spending it, but taking that money back out to actually acquire more property. That's what the goal is that you want to be able to scale this business and create a system so that you can scale it. Because why would you limit yourself to a few $1,000s a month when you can make $100,000 a month doing the same amount of work if you actually scale it? So that's what I want everybody to kind of think. Getting your first property, yes, is great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but continuously investing in yourself and continuing to invest in real estate, that's when you actually grow to these multi-million-dollar portfolios that, again, real estate is something that you don't have to work toward. I mean, you pretty much I call it mailbox money or making money in your sleep.
Yeah, because you got to realize that you guys need to use as much other people's capital as possible, other people's money as possible. You don't want, if you got money sitting in your savings, you got money sitting in your check-ins, and the bank is taking your money and doing the same thing. I'm actually, if you have a lot of money in the bank, I'm actually, thank you, because I'm using your money to buy properties. I appreciate you sitting your money in the bank, because the bank is going to lend me money to go buy properties. I'm going to pay them their cut. I'm keeping most of the cut. So if you got a lot of capital sitting out here, you got a lot of home equity, please start using your home equity. Please, like if your house, if you bought a house 5 or 10 years ago, you got a lot of equity into that home. It's time to get some of that equity, get a home equity line, put some of that equity out to buy other properties, leverage that money, because you just letting it sit, because houses do age. Like houses can't turn into not an asset anymore. You got an older home now, like people who had homes in the 70s and they paid them off and didn't do anything with them, they are coming down in value. They're losing money while they could have sold at the top of the market and bought another property and leverage that property. So use all the capital you have, 401k. That's all they're doing. They just investing your money. You need to invest your own money. I like to invest things I can go see. I know exactly when I go on one of my Airbnbs, I can ride past there. Yep, somebody's in there. Yep, I look at my app. Yep, I'm getting money on it.
Yeah, so that's very important that you're actually figuring out what your plan is. I think everyone was taught to work hard to produce, but I think that if you actually work smart, is actually really good. I saw something the other day that kind of made things. You driving a Benz, but you hate going to work every day. You might want to reconsider that Benz, because the whole objective is to work smart. So my biggest thing is I like the freedom.
Yes.
The money has nothing to do with it, but I need the money for the freedom. But my biggest thing is that I just don't want to be a prisoner to working my 9 to 5. Now, I don't mind working it, but I just don't want to be a prisoner to working my 9 to 5. So just like my boss, I know that if I die and he's going to replace me, then I don't care, because if I don't feel like waking up and going to work this morning, I don't have to get up and go to work this morning. Or if I want to go on vacation for 14 days, I know that I have some leverage in my actual personal business so that I can go on vacation for the day. So that's what I think about it, is that the leverage provides that freedom, and that's why it's important to have it.
Yeah. So one of the questions I get a lot from real estate community and people just that know me is about the refi versus the cash out refi. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference between like a regular refi or a cash out refi?
Yeah, so the biggest difference between the cash out refi and the regular refi is that, let's say you had a 4% interest rate and you want to lower the interest rate to a 3%, and you will lower it to the interest rate just to get a lower payment. That's a standard regular refi. When it comes to the cash flow refi, maybe they're not going to lower it, but you got cash. I mean, what's not cash flow? Cash out refi.
Cash out refi. What they're gonna do is it's a lower LTV, loan to value. Like a regular refi is 80%, a cash out refi is like 75%. Mm-hmm. So what it is basically you have a lot of equity into your house and you want the cash to do something with. So if you say your house is $100,000 and you own $30,000, you'll get a loan for $75,000. They'll pay off the $30,000 and then you'll walk away with $45,000 after fees and stuff. So that's a cash out refi. So you get a check at closing for $45,000, and you use that money, like I said, to leverage. I have seen people send their kids to college with it. I didn't see people buy their favorite dream car. But what I do is when I cash out refi, I'm buying another property. I'm using that money for a purpose. I'm going into my savings account, aka my properties, to pull money out so I can go buy another property.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is, and it's probably slightly a little bit higher than a regular refi, but that cash out is actually your money. But one good thing about it is that you still have 25% equity in
About
that house,
yeah,
of the original house. So it's not like you're taking everything out of it in case you sell it. You still have that leverage there that you can still sell it if you want, but you're just taking that money back out of it to actually put it into another project. That's very important, especially in this this business, to continue to kind of reinvest into acquiring more properties.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is when I get a property around 50% LTV or 55, I'm getting a cash out re-out. I don't want my properties that low. I want them near 75 to 80% because I need that capital. I can buy another properties and do this whole process again. I'm not leaving my house sitting that long with that much equity into it. So that's my name. I always, every 6 months, I reevaluate the market to see how my home values are. If they raise a lot, to see if I could do a cash out refi. So every 6 months, I check that same process with all our properties and Airbnbs. And we're currently in the process right now. I'm about to start a cash out refi. Well, really like a refi for our property, so we can buy more properties in the area as well. So that's the kind of difference between a refi and cash out refi. Just basically, just don't take the cash and just unless you need it or emergency. But it's basically just more leverage for you to tap into your funds. And also, can you can't get a home equity line on investment properties. I'm sorry about that. So.
Yeah, you can. So, yeah. So honestly, that's something that once you actually have multiple properties, those one of those things that you probably need to look into a local lender. Remember I was telling you about I know someone out of California that went to a local lender, actually it's Waco, Texas, which is another area that I'm very interested in because it's very similar to Columbia. But they took their whole portfolio.
Dropping jewels, Waco, Texas.
Yeah, we're actually going to Texas in a few weeks to actually look in some property in Waco. What they did was they actually shop around. They had 16 properties, and they were going to use the BRRRR method on their properties. So they're shopping out for a special loan type for their portfolio to do actually investment properties. And when I say shopping around, they're going to like a local lender because local lenders do a little more kind of specialized product versus actually go to a major lender.
Yeah. But when you're shopping out loans, you've been doing this.
When you're shopping that.
No person just can't shop alone. Like,
yeah.
You're looking, they know you're solid, and you probably, what you're asking for, you probably got enough assets to cover it. So it's a really easy loan. So they're actually looking for you to lend money because that's not how the banks make money, man. They got to lend that money out to make money. Mm-hmm. They don't make money servicing your checking account, savings account, even though late fees are high. But they make money about lending that money out and getting your money to work. So they looking for as much deals as they can as possible. So that's great because you kind of lead me into my next question about someone asked me, well, how do I choose? Should I refinance or cash out refinance with a hard money lender, or should I do it with a local bank or go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo?
So I would say that it depends on your short-term and long-term goals, which is very important. Short term, if you don't have 20%, 25% to put down the property plus to do the repairs, then it may not be the best scenario for you to go to a traditional a lender. It may be better for you to go to a hard money lender where you can possibly get around about, what's the highest now, 85%?
I have seen some 90s now. Yep. That goes with experience and credit scores, but how I choose that is basically your situation. Someone who if a lender gave you that money, whoever gave you that money recently, and your situation hasn't changed, I would kind of go back with them because they know your situation. Even when it got a little worse, you got a relationship like, hey, I did good, I rehabbed, it's cash flowing. Hey, I have used my hard money lenders to give me fix and flips. Just let them know, hey, I'm about to come back to you in 6 months to refinance. It just depends on your financial outlook right now. It just depends on how much money you got in the bank, how your credit scores look, and who can do the deal for you. So don't limit yourself. I mean, my thing
is that if right now you're not making any, if you're just starting off, you're not making any investment. You don't have you don't have anything in it. So somebody say, I'm not going to go to a hard money lender because the interest rate is double. But if that's the way that you kind of got to get into the game, then you have to pay the tax for someone to take the risk for you.
Man, I look at some of my old deals. I was paying 13, 14% for fix and flips, man, and making great money. Like, please don't look at that if you got room in the deal. Like you said, don't be scared of interest rate and stuff like that. You want somebody who's they deserve double because they believe in you and the bank's not gonna believe in you in the beginning.
Yeah, so I was honestly the opposite side. So me and him honestly.
Yeah, I'm different. He's the bank guy. He has a local banker.
Yeah,
I'm a local banker too.
But yeah, so I was on the opposite side. Is that I was initially like, no, I'm not going to pay that amount of money for it. But you have to take consideration that, like with a local bank, they typically take a little bit longer to actually close. And when you're getting these deals, they want to close as quickly as possible. So if you can close in 21 days, I may save about $5,000 on loan origination fees and closing costs. But they may choose another buyer over me because my lender's going to take 30 days compared to 21 days. So I always look at it as the cost of doing business. For $5,000 extra, I can close it in 21 days. And if I can actually get it back out on the back end, as far as selling the property for more, or actually taking into consideration that it's going to appreciate this value here, or looking at what the savings is, then it's worth it. I'm not going to let $5,000, $10,000 make a decision for me on if I should work or not work. That's a no-brainer. It's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, you got to just make sure the situation, like you said, banks got a certain days they got to get off the books. They're not looking for new people. They're looking for people they know. They're looking for people on close. You over here have all these due diligence days, and you want 10 business due diligence days and all that. No, you got to know the property. You got to know what you're looking for. Get in, get out. And sometimes banks, the guy on vacation, man. I need somebody to write this loan, get this appraisal order, so we can go ahead and get this thing closed. So
yeah.
So that's the last thing that we're going to talk about in this episode is basically. Like we talked about earlier, what to do with this capital, and like I said, man, it's definitely the Bird method is just to repeat the cycle, man. Learn all your mistakes, learn what you did, but at the end of the day, if the house didn't burn down, you got a cash flow property, you succeeded, and let's do it again.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing right there is that learning from your mistakes, or honestly learning from our mistakes, and kind of using that to apply it to, hey, what I'm going to do differently than is possible. So that is what you want to make sure that you're aware of, is that, hey, in this business, it's the actual finish line is changing all the time, especially in this new market that we're in. We're talking about people who've been in market since 2006, been flipping since 2013, 2014, and this new market turns us on a head at all the time. So what you want to be able to is you want to be a chameleon that actually embrace change, that we're aware that we can't get a refrigerator or a stove for $500 anymore. It's $750. So you think I'm going to stop actually making money because the refrigerator or the stove is $250 more? No, we're just going to actually adapt to what the new circumstances are and figure out how can we adjust our cost and our actually profit to accommodate this extra $500 spending that we're going to have.
Yeah, we got to change our schedules. We got to change our thinking.
Yeah.
You have to, if you decide, if your goal is to do 5 Airbnbs, you might, Black Friday is coming up, you might have to put some money in to save that stuff in the storage room or the room. Like you come to one of my rooms, man, you'll see wine glasses, pot sets, coffee sets, all kind of stuff that we need for Airbnbs, because at the end of the day, we need it. Every day costs you money.
Every day costs you money.
Every day costs you money. When you have money out, every day costs you money. So I do it tomorrow, or they don't have it in stock. No, you got to figure it out and get it going. So that's what I say, man. Just have your schedule together and stop being scared, man.
Stop being scared. Fear is the biggest issue that you have, is the fear of unknown. So you normally be in this box. Why you keep yourself in that box?
And ask for help, man. Y'all don't realize, stop thinking that you're going to find this, you're going to do all your rehab, all this stuff with your money. I'm going to find a house for $40,000, I'm going to put 30 in it, and going to sell it for 100 with all your capital. No, the banks have way more money than you have. Please use their money. I'm begging you guys. Please use their money. Give them their little cut, because I'm telling you, you're going to sleep better at night when you got $25,000 out there instead of $70,000 out there. Mm-hmm. I've been in both boats. I know it's sleep differently. When I only have $25,000 there, all my money out there, because then I'm calling the agent every night like, hey, I seen her post on Facebook, she bought a car. Is that true? Like, you don't want that kind of problem, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so that's a very, very, very big thing about leveraging, is that taking what you have. instead of you actually kind of going out there and say, hey, I'm gonna do it all myself. Leverage everything that you have, including your the stuff that you actually have in your backyard. You'd be surprised at what the value has.
Yeah, so you guys drop comments. We answer every message that you send to us. Y'all got any more questions? We didn't answer all your questions about leverage. We're sorry, but we'll gladly get back with you guys to answer any question you have about leverage on this episode. Just like and subscribe the YouTube channel. Go to Anchor. Go to Apple Podcasts. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, y'all just let us know. Hit us up. We're here to help.
My real estate mistakes.